For me personally, concrete is really intimidating because separate from knowing how to do it and having all the skill and understanding the timing, you have a lot of uncontrollable aspects like the weather and even just wind and what the concrete is like when it comes out of the truck that can really impact things. So this is the garage and it's about to get poured. I like the idea of the garage because it takes the weather kind of out of the equation. Even direct sunlight isn't going to be an issue here, which can really mess up a concrete finish. That's what happened on my patio a couple summers ago. Let me just show you guys this patio while I'm talking about it. Can you see this kind of line right here? When this was poured, the house was casting a shadow and the concrete over here was in the shade. The concrete over on this side had the sun on it, and wow, what a difference it made. I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but over here, the concrete and the texture on the concrete is completely different than over here where the sun was hitting it. That shadow left a mark that stands to this day. We've made a lot of concrete videos. I'm kind of excited to see a different crew show us what they've got. I can already tell that these guys are not messing around. The prep is so tidy, and they've got 2 power trowels. So they are 100% taking this seriously. I don't know if I doubt they're gonna be running both at the same time. To me, that looks like they've got a machine and then they got a backup machine in case they have problem. So that's a sign of someone who is got a preparedness mindset. Next time you see me, we should have some fresh concrete here. For a professional concrete crew, a garage slab like this is pretty easy and routine and not really something they're gonna get super excited about or super proud and like run and show pictures to all their friends and future prospects. This is pretty basic stuff. I think these guys are just on total autopilot. But for me, I don't see this thing every day, so it's really easy for me to get overly excited and impressed because I know what it would look like if I tried to do it, and it would look bad. I've noticed that when guys are really good at their trade, they're usually pretty humble about it. You don't really hear them bragging and going on and on about how good they are. They just sort of do their thing, probably mention something that wasn't perfect or ideal, maybe mention a similar job where something problematic happened or something went sideways, but just so casual and easy. And I love that vibe. Anytime I'm chatting with a builder or a tradesman who's really at the top of their game, it almost always sounds kind of like that. Just casual, humble, kind of nonchalant. And that's what I was getting from these guys the whole time. This is just truly another day at the office for them. If you're in the trades and you're a professional and you're at the top of your game like these guys, you really ought to consider filming some of your jobs. And I'm not saying you have to put them on YouTube or social media and try to make it a whole deal, but if you don't film them, you don't have any options anyways as far as that goes. The first step is getting the footage, and it's not that difficult. At the end of this video, I'm going to show you guys an angle of this job that from a different camera that I set up in the corner, that I set up first thing in the morning, and I literally didn't touch it the entire day. It took about 2 or 3 minutes to set up, and that's all you got to do. And truth be told, I hate to admit this, but I think the footage from that camera is is actually more fun to watch than all this footage with the bigger, nicer cameras. I don't know why. I think it's because concrete in particular, it's such a, satisfying beginning to end type of a project. So it's always nice seeing something come together. And I recommend you guys do that if you're in the trades. There's a lot of benefits that come from it. Most of them are unforeseeable. You don't know what the benefits are going to be. But if you don't film them anyways, you'll never find out. Well, it's a done deal, guys. Just look at this slab. Unfortunately, I forgot to come over here the following morning and set up a camera to get him making these saw cuts. Actually, it was a day and a half after they poured. Sometimes the cuts kind of like chip and like bust out, the edges of it. But this cut is just, looks like it was cut with a laser or something. No chipping, straight as an arrow, and it worked pretty good. There's this little jog in the slab right there, so that's, I'm guessing, pretty close to the center. Perfect spot to pull a line. And same thing with right here. Overall, beautiful slab. I had my kids over here on their scooters trying it out over the weekend. They approved. So thanks for watching. We will keep you guys updated on this project. Next thing we're going to show you probably is going to be installation. Everything's done in here in terms of the utilities, plumbing, electric, HVAC. So now they're going to insulate. Thanks for watching. All right, this is that camera I mentioned. It's just clamped to the studs here. See the studs on the right? I've got this clamp that opens up and it'll squeeze one of those. And then the camera is plugged into a battery, like the same kind of battery that you would keep for your cell phone, like one of those USB batteries. The camera is a GoPro 7, which is older. You can get them for just a couple $100. And this is the time-lapse setting. The only downside to setting up a camera like this is it doesn't record audio, so you kind of have to put music behind it or plan on, voicing over something. But if you're in the trades, if you're the guy doing the work, the voiceover would be no problem because there's 1,000 things you could talk about that happened during the job. You could talk about the client or the general contractor who hired you or the weather. I mean, anything at all. But what I would recommend would be think about questions that either customers or potential customers have that they ask you often, and then just pretend you're answering that question into a microphone, and boom, that's it. And then as far as the editing goes, it was actually edited. I went through, it took a couple minutes, and I cut out the part of the day, or I should say every part of the day, where these guys were kind of standing in the back just waiting without any work happening. I wanted it, and I like it, so that every moment you can see somebody working and doing something on the slab. To me, that makes it more watchable. You can always tell what's happening, and the waiting doesn't add much. So it only takes a couple minutes. You just cut those sections out, stitch it back together, put some music or some voiceover, and you're done.